Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope everyone had a good day there yesterday. I thought I'd just sneak into the garage and make a video of some stuff that I've been doing lately. I thought I could do a little bit of a video of certain stuff. So, yeah, I thought I'd just come down and showcase a couple of things that I've been working on, some things that are going to be going on, and some new stuff as well. So, I'll go over the Volvo probably last, honestly. Yeah, as you can see, I got a new WE Volvo there. I got a skid steer up top, some shelving, a little CB pod over there, a little box with some custom handmade goodies in it. I got this guy right here, which is custom made. Smooth side there. There's a bit of a rougher side on the back there. And I got this custom made attachment I've done here. And there's a block holder there, and then a couple of things I picked up for some scale fun there yesterday. As well as back here, where I have my molds and jig that I made for pouring lock blocks. So, I guess I'll go over this stuff first. So yeah, I wanted to make an attachment for the excavator, which is actually, I'll go back over here, this guy right here. So I took, I don't know if I have it down here. Oh yeah, here it is. I took this guy, this bucket. I had it last year, unless it was really dry. I didn't really find it was working that great. I was going to cut some more of these out just to make a little bit more holes so it could fall through. But either way, I saw that it was flat and had an idea that I could probably use that because I've wanted to make an electric attachment for my Volvo forever and a day. I've been looking for one, cannot find one. So I figured, all right, I'm going to have to make one myself. So it's pretty simple, straightforward. All I did was cut the top of that screening bucket off. This is a Huina to Volvo WE adapter, and then I 3D printed a motor holder, screws just through there like that. That's a 30 RPM motor. It's a bit fast. I'm going to adjust the endpoints a little bit more because it goes a bit faster one way than it does the other. Probably only need like a 10 RPM motor honestly for it, but and then I got these this universal joint right here. I actually got some metal ones upstairs. I just haven't placed it yet. And then those little ceiling hooks in there, those little Dollarama dollar store ceiling hooks, I just put into it so that it can lock onto the wool jersey block holder there. So that goes like that. And now I rewired my Volvo to have an auxiliary channel on it. And that block right there was the next thing. I have a bunch of these Lego blocks, but they're just not very heavy enough, I found, to try and make adjustments without knocking the thing all over the place. So I decided I need to make some heavier duty ones. So I thought I'd make some molds. And that just sits on top like that, which is nice. I got some clearance there to be able to swing that hook off. And then just picks that up like that. Oops, sorry, picks that up like that. And boom, there you go. It's pretty good weight. It's probably about as heavy as I want it to be for picking those things up. So that's good that they're not too heavy. Originally I was going to go with concrete, and then I talked to a really good model builder that lives out my way here, and he was just telling me he used mortar, which is a better option. The aggregate that I was going to use was really coarse and had big chunks. It might have been hard to smooth it out, and it might have just been unnecessarily heavy for what I was doing. So yeah, I made, so far I've printed off about 9 molds, and I made this jig that's over here. I had put holes in them. If you can't really see them, but I put holes in there and there and there and there so you could join them with rod, but it gets to be expensive after a while, especially if you're cutting up 3 mil whatever rod to hold them all together. So I just decided I could get some nailing strip, make this jig, locks them in both ways. And yeah, I can pour, I don't know how many I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 at a time. Honestly, that's probably pretty good because I'm finding that as I'm kind of pouring the 11th one, the first 2 are starting to kick off a little bit. So 11's good. I was going to print a whole bunch more. I mean, I could pour them at random times, but just when you pour mortar, you got to be ready to go with it. So I just decided that'd be good enough. I got 24 upstairs. This should give me 35, which should be good. And I got a little bit of more left in the bag there, so I'm going to burn that up. I don't know if that'll get me another 11 or not, but we'll see. And that'll be that. So yeah, they worked out really well. The first batch I did, it was like -9. We got a huge windstorm out here and a winter storm, which is kind of unusual for us. And so I poured a few, found a couple things, didn't really push the mortar around that great. So I had 3 that were a failure out of 7, and 4 were good. And my second batch was okay, and then by the third one I sort of dialed it in. So I poured some really nice ones last night, and I just got these ones ready to go here today in a few hours. So that'll be good. I'm going to start being able to work on doing some retaining walls and things like that, which I'm looking forward to. Be able to try and do some more stuff with the excavator other than just dig trenches and things like that, because it's not boring, but it gets nice to be able to do different things, I think, after a while. So yeah, those are the lock blocks there. This is vapor barrier, so it's kind of smooth, but yeah, I mean, on the whole, I think they're really good. They got divots on the bottom as well. There was an STL file on Thingiverse, which has multiple ones. I'm having a major issue with my computer right now. I've been able to download stuff. I gotta download stuff onto YouTube and then switch it back onto the computer. It's kind of a nightmare. Anyways, I'm not sure what's going on with that. So I also can't download STL files off Tinkercad right now, or Thingiverse either. So I gotta make my own stuff. So I went for a walk with my wife the other day, walked past a giant pile of these things and saw that they were just 2 on the top. I was like, oh, that's probably pretty easy to do. So I just made my own molds, and yeah, been pouring for the last couple of days, a few a day, and more than a few a day, but yeah, it's been going good. So I got lock blocks, excavator rotation attachment there. There's the wool blocks guy right there. Yeah, I was thinking about trying to maybe put another auxiliary plug on my excavator as well, so I can have like a manual grab hook, because I would like to do a logging truck at some point. And at least I could have an excavator attachment if I didn't have a crane on the back of a logging truck that I could load them on. I could use that, but it is a bit finicky still. I'm trying to get used to it. And when you're making videos and stuff, I kind of like to try and make my movements a little bit faster than, watching me make these finicky little adjustments with an excavator, or it's just kind of boring. Nobody really wants to see that. And I don't mind editing my videos, but sometimes it's kind of nice to just have nice fluid movements and things like that. So I got to work on stacking blocks and things like that still. So that's that. I've been kind of going a bit crazy on scale accessories lately. This is a traffic set I designed on my 3D printer. These were supposed to be sold off as a contract to the people that run the flagging training courses in BC, but kind of fell through. But I made like 5 boxes of these things, and I actually dialed in a pretty sweet process for them. Yeah, I think that I did a really nice job with them. I like them. I got all my cones and stuff in there. I was painting those on first, and then I got a guy who cut me Teflon tape, and I ended up getting the shape I needed, and I ended up just going with putting Teflon tape on them. So that worked out really well. Saved me a lot of time in the process, because it's a lot of work to build this set. It takes me about 24 hours to print a full set, and then if I'm working on it, it takes me 2 or 3 days to paint everything. It's a lot of work. They cost a little bit of, or don't cost a little bit, but if I was trying to sell them, they will cost a little bit. I'm trying to sell them for about $100 Canadian, which some people don't understand that it takes me a really long time to make them, and it's a lot of print time and stuff. So yeah, but there's a lot of effort put into them, and I tried to do my best to make them look really authentic as possible. I think I did a pretty good job of them, and you get a really decent product. So I got 4 boxes of these things if anybody wants to buy them, but I definitely want to hang on to one, because I don't know if I'd make them again. It just takes a long time. I got into mass producing stuff, and it was speeding up, but it's still a lot of work. Got to be by that printer all the time, making sure everything's running smooth, and it just constant work. It's a lot of work. Same with these lock blocks, a lot of work. And they're not the best, smoothest ones, but it just always mentioned, people ask, why is it so much money? Because it takes a lot of time and effort to make something so finicky and specialized. So anyways, there's that. And then I picked up these, which I'm really looking forward to. setting up and filling up with little bits of garbage and stuff for fun, because, and also this as well, I should say, I got that's pallet there I printed back a little while ago. I made those wooden pallets, and then there's some Brita ones, a bit of pipe. That's my little scale CB pot that I made. You can put the lid on and off, and then fits that piping right there, fits right into there nicely. I got a couple of those I made. And the reason being, as well as I got a bunch of stuff over there, a bunch of scale stuff, is I bought a forklift, and I'm super pumped. It's a Carson 114 scale one. I wanted a forklift for such a long time. I was going to build one, never got around to it. Just going to take too much time. So I decided I'm going to make, I got the train set over there, but I'm going to probably make a little scale forklift warehouse in the garage here, possibly. And I just really wanted to have a bunch of scale things to move around and stuff to kind of make it look cool. So I got a traffic control sets there. I got scale accessories there, that. I got bins there. I got all that stuff over there. I got stuff everywhere. There's lots of stuff. It's gonna be pretty fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that as well. So that'll be kind of coming in the new year. It's coming from Spain, so it's in the mail right now. And I also do have, I don't really try and pump my stuff too much, just because I just, whatever, but I do have a bunch of my STL files and stuff that I've designed on Cults 3D. So if anybody's interested in doing your own, I do have all the files for all the traffic control stuff I made. I got CB pots on there. I got stuff for D5 conversion. There's not a ton of stuff on there, but there's a few things. And I think I got the molds as well for the lock blocks on there too. And I try to keep everything pretty cheap. So it's only like $2 or $3 usually. I think my Brita conversion parts for the dozer is like $8. That's the most expensive thing, because it's got all the parts you need for the sprockets, the servo holders, and then the blade servo lift and all that. It's on there. That's the most expensive thing. Everything else is usually like, I got 25 of these traffic cones here for $3 for the STL file for 25 of them, right? Stuff like that. So if anybody's interested in some scale accessories, you can go to Cults 3D. And if you're not sure, I usually have links, or you can find me on Facebook and find a link, or ask me a question, and I can give you a link to my page on that website there. So yeah, there's all that. I guess we'll go to this guy here. So I've always had kind of a bit of an issue with skid steers. I had the track one for a while, but it was just kind of, the sprocket and the tracks were always kind of jerky and sticky for me. So I finally decided to take it apart and take it off the roster. And then my wife picked this up for me, and I ended up getting a bunch of high-tech servos for like half price. I got 4 for $50, or no, was it? No, it was 4 for 100. Sorry, it was a good deal, because usually that would have cost me $200. So I'm going to be converting skid steer in the new year as well, and get this guy going. And finally spend a bit of time putting some good servos into it. Really spend the time to dial it in and make it so it's a nice, smooth operating skid steer, because it was the very first thing I wanted with the excavator when I started all this like 3 years ago. And now that I played around with the one I got from Magum so many times, and it's just it's well used, and I've painted it, tried to make it like a Bobcat, blah 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 blah. Didn't really like it. So I decided that I would try it one more time with some good servos in it. And I'm going to get this guy going in the new year. So that'll be nice to have a skid steer that works. I like the wheeled one. It's going to be good. So I'm really looking forward to converting that over. So that'll be that. And then, yeah, the next thing will be to talk about this big guy right here. So I'll shut it off, and I might make a separate video for that one, actually. So there's all the scale stuff I've been doing. Next video will be busting out the double E.